saving the innocent from bad music tournaments. Because tonight is the coolest tournament around for 2018. It is the one and only Dayton's Indie Music Madness. You are listening to the show where Ohio froze down. Ohio is on fire. And I am the host, Daniel Diesel. I have a wonderful show for you tonight as it is April 4th. We're getting close to spring. The weather is getting warmer ever slowly, though. I mean, it gets warm one day, the next day it gets cold. Yesterday was a tornado warning and it blew down some farms and houses. Luckily, no one died, not that I know of. But today, better weather, and hopefully it keeps up. But if you're indoors listening to the radio, hopefully you're listening to this station and you're in for a good time. But I am Daniel Diesel. But tonight is something I do every once in a while when I am doing my show. It is going to be, some of you at home might be familiar with it, but some of you are not. But yeah, tonight is a little music tournament called Dayton's Indie Music Madness. Once again, Dayton as in the city of Dayton, then Indie as in indie music scene, music madness. It was inspired by the March Madness tournament that happens in basketball for men's and women's college basketball. This is the third tournament I've ever done. This is the first one I've done since 2015. As it was on a hiatus for a while, but it is back, and I hope it's a lot of fun. And I want to talk about what this tournament's going to entail, because I got the rule sheet and the explanation for it, so I want to spend this segment doing that, as this tournament's going to last for the next 4 episodes. I hope it's a lot of fun for the viewer at home, as it is for me to put this on. But Dayton's Indie Music Madness, the tournament for 2018, I'll have 36 independent or unsigned music artists from the state of Ohio. And not only that, but each artist/band, they will represent a public university in Ohio. Because I did the count. Here in the state of Ohio, there are exactly 36 Ohio universities. And randomly, those colleges will be assigned to an artist. And if that artist wins the tournament, I will make a pledge to that school. For example, like I'm here at Wright State University, say Aerosmith, they were assigned, now Aerosmith's not in the tournament, I know they're not eligible, but say they were in the tournament, and Wright State University was assigned to them, and they won the tournament, then I would make a pledge to Wright State University, a monetary pledge. And that's me personally, not the band. The band and artists wouldn't have to do it, it'd be me personally, I'd be doing it. So hopefully this allows for colleges to get involved. And let's have a lot of fun. Hopefully it's a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. This is like a 4-week experiment because it starts tonight. And of course it's happening now on April 11th, 18th, and 25th, which is my next 4 episodes of Ohio is on Fire. Now what is this tournament all about ultimately? And yes, Gretchen is here. I've been told that my buddy Gretchen Kelly is here. She'll be on later time, but we'll talk about her. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Competing for what is this tournament all about? We are competing for votes using a recorded music track representing the artist or band in a tournament. So like I have the artist, but I'm selecting a specific track because a lot of these artists have a bunch of songs out. Really it's about the song, because as we all know, some songs are usually better than others. Some really resonate. That one big hit, that's usually what works in music. A band just has to have that one big hit to break them through. So you're not necessarily voting for the artist, you're voting for the track that is performed by that artist. So really, this is really the best song. Kind of like in Grammys, there's the best song category. This is like the best song from an Ohio artist. So think of it as that. It's the best track. Of course, we're here. WSU 106.9 FM is the host of this tournament this year. Of course, we're also on the internet. Hopefully, we have some listeners right now at www.wsu169.org. We have some listeners there right now. And of course, for those of you that are outside of Dayton market, that's really the best way to listen to this station. So please tell your friend if you have bands that you like that's in this tournament, and you wish to vote for them, you want others to listen. That's really the best place to go. Is our website. Right now we're in the first round. Tonight is the first round, and really it's in 3 parts. We have 12 artists divided into 3 groups for a total of 36 artists. So tonight will be 12 artists representing Group A. We'll have 12 artists in Group B next week, and then 12 artists in Group C 3 weeks from now. These guys, they've been wanting to be in a tournament for quite some time, since the very first tournament of 2014. They were disappointed they couldn't be in it, but they have become fans of the first two tournaments, and I've let them know that they're in this tournament. They're very happy to be in it. It is a group known as Sabertooth Lincoln. They're based out of Dayton, Ohio. Um, and of course, they wanted the first tournament back in 2014. They wanted to submit a track. There was language, they couldn't be in it, but I am happy to say that they do have new music that makes them eligible for this tournament. They do have a track that is eligible. It's radio edited, and it's really awesome. So Abertooth Lincoln, I'm happy to say that they're in the tournament, and they wanted me to tell everyone that happy days are here again in independent music, especially in the Dayton, Ohio area. So they will kick off this year's tournament. Here is Abertooth Lincoln from Dayton, Ohio with their track, Teenage Warehouse. And we are back live with Ohio's on Fire, to show where Ohio throws down. Of course, I'm Daniel Diesel. I have my guest of the night. I've described her as somewhat of a music expert in the area. She's got experience in DJing and big music events around the Dayton, Ohio area. And we will talk to her. It is the one only Gretchen Kelly. But say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
It's good to see you. It's good having you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to ask you this. How long have you been in the, do you have experience like being a voice, like internet radio and other platforms? How long have you been doing DJ work?
I started about 4 years ago.
Okay.
I was booking bands down in the Oregon district for several years.
Yes.
And I was introduced to Larry Lang, who was working as a DJ for Radio Pure Gently.
Okay.
And he was working with other DJs in different parts of the world, and they had this show. And so I started supplying them with music for the show, local music for their shows. And then somebody had asked me one time, well, I would listen to their shows if if you had your own. So I asked them, and then I became the first female DJ of Radio Pure Gently.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. It was only 4 years ago that you started, but how did you like Radio Gentry? How did you feel about it when you first started doing it?
It was kind of a learning process because we did it out of our homes.
Okay.
And with laptops and microphones, and I had never done anything like that. So there was a learning curve. It took me a little while to figure out the editing and everything, but my friend Rob Pericelli in England, we Skyped a few times, and he helped me get through the editing process of it.
Yeah.
And it got much better as time went on.
Excellent. Well, that is good to hear. Now, you, of course, also along with Art Jepson. Just a reminder, I did announce that Dr. J. Art Jepson was going to be on tonight. He could not make it. We'll try to schedule him for another time. But you and Art was on Reveal Central. Now, what did you like? How did you like working with Reveal Central? What was that like?
Reveal was actually the same guys from Radio Pure Gently. We had just decided to move the platform, move it from a different platform.
Okay.
We were on Mixcloud, which was basically, with internet, you can basically get away with a lot of things. I played all original music, and the guys played other different types of music. And so we decided to go more, what I call legit. We're kind of pirate radio for a while.
Yeah.
And so we kind of decided to go more legit, and so we moved over to the Reveal platform, and that way artists got paid when we played them and everything like that, because Mixcloud was kind of we put it together and put it out there, and anybody could listen to it and stuff, but they didn't really get, nobody really got paid for it.
Yeah.
And so we kind of moved over to platform, made it more legit type thing, more of what most people seem to be doing now and everything, but then the artists got paid every time we played them.
Oh, okay.
Even the local artists, even the ones I dealt with, which was all indie original bands, they would get a little something for when I played them.
Okay, well, I have a follow-up question on that. Like, how often do artists get paid? Like, is it once per year? Like, is it based on how many?
Actually, I never asked them that. I never did find out how that works. It was all with the platform we went to. They had lots of other programs going on, and they took care of all the paperwork part. All I had to do was do my show, get it submitted, and get it on the air. And so.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's interesting to know. Well, I was going to ask you. I don't know if you would know the answer to this, but how would one run a radio station on the internet? Like you do. You was doing Radio Gentry and then moved over to Reveal Central. But do you know, would you know how much it would cost for someone to run a radio station on the internet, and what would they have to do, like material-wise? Would you know the inner workings of that?
Well, Mixlr, like I said, when we started with Mixlr, there was a yearly fee.
Yeah.
And first it wasn't that much, and then they kept increasing. As more people started using it, they started increasing the fees.
Yeah.
And so actually, we actually ended up having a fundraiser, and our fans did a fundraiser, and we got money to pay for another year on the Mixlr account for Radio Pure Gently. Well, with Reveal, there was a monthly fee, and it was a little bit higher, and they also added ads to our programs where we didn't have ads before.
Yeah.
So we always had to put that in. Actually, that platform wasn't too bad. It was a monthly fee. I think it was like between $30 or $50 a month.
Okay.
And you could do it 24 hours. And so you could have like 24-hour programming for $30 to $50 a month. You just put your shows together, upload them, and pick the times that they're going to go out. When you did not have a show going on, then that platform put music out.
Yeah.
And so there are several different ways to doing it. That was just one way we did. We went from just our own little thing on Mixlr where we broadcasted certain times and nothing else was going on except for when we broadcasted, to something that when we weren't broadcasting, they were still playing music.
Cool. All right. That's very interesting. Well, I mean, I've never been in that line of work, so I will assume that. I think, well, based on my experience, I did notice that there is a cost. You got paid monthly, and really, I think it takes a team of people to do. Which it sounds like at Reveal Central, anyway, they do have a team of people that's figuring that out.
Yeah. So basically, because we had DJs from different parts of the world, and so
yes.
So actually, a lot of guys knew how to work all the mechanical stuff. But then there was the people that we paid to do Reveal Central that took care of all the other paperwork stuff that we didn't have to do. So that was kind of nice. Just give and
Yes.
takes on various things. But with the internet, though, you do get to say more things than conventional radio.
Yes.
You get to do more things. You have a lot more freedom.
I do agree with that.
and
Yes,
everything.
more free.
And the one thing I liked about it is I could do it from my house.
Yeah.
I had a laptop, and my son, who used to be at this station,
Yes.
bought me a really good microphone, and I learned how to edit. And I could do it at home when I had time, put everything together, and submit it. So I like that a lot.
Absolutely. Now, Gretchen, I want to ask you, who's your favorite broadcaster or DJ? Like, regardless if it's this area or anywhere in the world.
Oh, well, I have several. There's actually a couple overseas. My friend Rob Puricelli, I love listening to his show.
Okay.
I love Mickey Dodds in Ireland when he did his show because I just love listening to his accent.
Ireland.
Yes. So we had DJs from Australia, Ireland,
Yeah.
England, various places. And what was really cool is then you got to meet other musicians from other countries. I had bands in Sweden. I had a band in Bogota, Colombia. And then from that, you get to meet other DJs. I got to meet a whole more DJs around the world because of all the different networks.
Cool. Well, that's really cool to hear. You get introduced to DJs from around the world. That is really cool. What I want to know, do you personally listen to podcasts? Because I know that's been a big thing over the last few years. Like, there's internet radio, and basically podcasting is pretty much storytelling shows on the radio. So do you involve yourself in podcasts?
Yeah, I like Gym City podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
I had them on last month. Yes.
I really like them a lot.
Yes, they're really cool. There's a lot of good ones nationally, but I think ones that are made locally, like you mentioned Gym City podcast, there's also Bro Ohio that I can think of. And then there's, what else? Coffee with Idiots. I like those.
Yeah.
They're friends of mine. There's probably like 9 that's based in the area now. And I think each market has their own podcasting scene. So that's really grown. So I think, you do want to latch on to the local, like if you're looking for a podcast, it's kind of cool that you can latch on to something that's local.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that, Gretchen. I'm trying to think. I want to ask you, what I guess really I want to ask you is what platform, because there's a lot of different, like, there's internet radio, podcasting, there's AM, FM radio. I want to know your opinion. I want to have a little discussion on this. What do you think which platform has the biggest reach, and what has the most influence right now?
Well, currently, I think the trend's always been like FM radio.
Yeah.
But I think that's starting to change as people has more access to the internet in their cars and their phones. I think that is more mobile with the internet, that they can choose music that they want to listen to, like from Spotify and all the other different places, and the podcast, or even these individual DJs like come from like I did.
Yeah.
The people you never heard of that could be across the world that I like their show. I can listen to their show while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I think that is going to get bigger and bigger because I know when I'm in my car, I just flip through the stations. I'm really bad about it because I just
me too.
I just have regular radio on. But sometimes I can get my phone plugged in and for long trips, and I can listen to something that's that I really want to listen to that's through the internet.
Cool.
And so I think honestly, as more internet options come available, I think I think that'd be great if more individual people decided this is what I like. I want to share it with you and put it out there.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of really amazing music. We have a lot of really amazing music in Dayton. I've been booking bands on and off for 14 years.
Yes.
And there's a lot of good talent in Dayton, amazing talent, a lot of good talent in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, surrounding areas. But there's also amazing talents just as good around the world. Like I said, one of my favorite bands is a band called the Broken Ravens out of Stornoway, Scotland, an island of Scotland.
That sounds awesome.
And this band, I just absolutely love them, called the Broken Ravens. And they're an original band. I mean, they're an indie band, indie rock band and everything. And they're so good, but hardly anybody knows about them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the internet's a good way to discover artists like what was the band? The Ravens.
The Broken Ravens.
The Broken Ravens. Yes, that even before listening to their music, that name just sounds awesome. So kudos to them. But the internet is just a great place to find new talent like that. And you mentioned about listening to your car. I think it depends on the car that you have,
That's true.
or the radio player. Because I think if you owned say 1984 Volkswagen, I think it'd be impossible unless there might be a way to change out the radio, like there's the radio that's in there. I don't know if you can change out and put in something that's more modern or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I used to listen to when bands send me CDs to listen to for my show and for me booking shows for them.
Yeah.
I used to listen to CDs a lot, but my problem is my CD player got stuck with two CDs, one from Shrug and one from Page Butler. They're stuck in my CD player, and I can't get them out.
Oh no!
So now I'm like, I can't listen to CDs in my car anymore. So that's why I'm kind of stuck listening to the radio back and forth.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's a big bummer. Yes, you just gotta get a hammer and smash it out of there, and now. We're back live with Ohio is on Fire. I am still here with Gretchen Kelly. She's my guest of the night. We're going to continue our great interview that we were having. So, Gretchen, once again, it's good to have you here. I've heard about you for quite some time, so I'm happy that you're finally on my show. I crossed you off my bucket list.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you've been on my bucket list. So, anywho, where do you like to go to find new music or just to listen to music in general? What would you prefer?
Well, a lot of times I just go to the bar I work at where I book bands and everything, or the other venues in town.
Yeah.
And you walk in and you will hear really good music, and from bands from, some of them are traveling through town and just happen to be on the show. That's happened several times where I've discovered a band that I really like that's, or from Chicago or from Indianapolis because they just happen to be in town. But that's one way. Another way is because of the radio show, I've had people send me music.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a person, if I'm going to play it, I'm going to like it, and I'm going to listen to it all. So I will listen to a whole CD.
Okay.
So to find the music, the songs I want to play. And so those are two main ways I find new music. I've also gone through Bandcamp and just kind of skipped through Bandcamp, trying to find the artist that doesn't have a whole lot of plays yet, because my show is called Diamonds in the Rough.
Yes.
And I was trying to find the bands that the music that's really good that no one's heard of yet.
Uh-huh.
And so those were like, my main things for my shows and that I like to listen to. Otherwise, it's just you just come across things in everyday life that you hear something that you like. Somebody's got the radio on, or my workout place, they'll have different music on and everything. So variety of different ways, but mainly for my show or what I actually like to listen to, I found it locally.
Cool, cool. Now I want to ask you. Now nowadays we have all these platforms to go listen to music. Of course, when you was younger, and of course me, really one of the places you could listen to it would be on FM radio. So I want to ask you, in your opinion, do you think FM radio is dying? Is there going to be a day that there'll be no more FM radio, like for music?
I don't know if it's actually, I mean, it's probably not as big as it was when I was growing up in the 80s.
Yeah.
But then again, I was a teenager in the 80s and MTV hit. And
Yes.
when MTV actually played, so a lot of my time as a teenager was watching MTV.
Yeah, the original MTV.
The original MTV. But I think it will always be FM radio be there, but it may not be as it was back in the 70s and 80s, where if you want to get your music played, that was the only place that you could get anybody to listen to it, and it was like probably much harder than it back then. Now I think it's a little bit easier because there's so many other platforms, and they have to compete with all these different other platforms that are out there to get people to listen.
So in other words, FM radio's got to find a way to compete other than just die off if they want to survive.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I kind of feel that way as well. They need to keep up with the times or they will die. I mean, anything will die if they don't keep up on it, kind of like a plant. So I would agree with that. Now, I know the stations that are around now here in the Dayton, Ohio market. For you growing up, only because I'm fascinated by what was available before my time. I was born in '85. When you was growing up, what radio stations was there in the Dayton, Ohio market that was popular that perhaps is no longer available?
Z93, I remember
Oh,
that.
I do remember that. That was around mid-'90s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were also around when I was a teenager in the 80s. And so, yeah, I remember Z93. There's also, I'm not sure what station they played on, but there's a thing called The Big Wazoo. And there's actually a cover band one of the very few cover bands I like. It was called The Big Wazoo because they play the music that was from that show. They played Tom Petty, they played Pink Floyd. So all the music that was played on the Big Wazoo here in Dayton, they play that, and that's what their name of the band is.
Okay.
And so, other than that, honestly, because I think what happened to me was I would listen to the radio because it was on, but then MTV hit, and we were all watching MTV.
Yeah. The Big Wazoo, do you know what number that was? Do you remember the dial number?
I don't remember offhand.
Okay, well, that's fine.
I'm sure somebody out there knows.
All right, well, that's fascinating to learn. Yeah, I never heard of the Big Wazoo, so that's new to me. Yeah, I was never familiar with Z93. The Fry guy, he started his career there, and he always had a segment called What's in Fry's Fly. He did a lot of silly things. So I definitely remember them. And the Big Wazoo. So that'll be a challenge for me tonight. I'll see if there's any YouTube clips of the Big Wazoo from Dayton, Ohio. I don't know if there is, but we will find out. But I want to know, maybe try to give you the best opinion that you can, but pop music, it changes over times. I just know, what if you've personally noticed about mainstream pop music over your years, like in the business, whether in the you as a booker at the Oregon Express, or doing DJ music, or just listening to it as a child? Have you noticed what have you noticed about it over the years?
For me, I think it's all sounds. Now, to me, it just sounds the same. All the mainstream music, it just sounds the same rhythms, the same, just the same repeats over and over again. Whereas years ago, I think back in the 60s and 70s, where artists had more control, where artists wrote their own wrote it themselves.
Yeah.
I think the art of songwriting is not part of mainstream songs. And I think that's a huge issue.
It's very lacking.
Yes. Because there's they pay 5 people to write one song, and it's the same lyrics over and over.
Yeah.
Where before, years ago, people, they used to write their own music and perform it, and it was good. And I think a testament to that is that my teenage daughter, or my young adult daughters, I have one that's 19 and one that's 21.
Yeah.
They love listening to Pink Floyd. They love listening to stuff from way back when. I have kept them listening to music from the 70s and 80s and they like it.
Well, good job. Yes. But what I want to add about writing is that not only is it the same lyrics, it's really the same philosophy. Like if the same person writes it, because really, they're going to, a person that writes, they're going to write what they know. And now, whether they learn something 10 years from now, that happens 10 years from now. But they do wind up writing what they know or what they experience in their life. I do kind of notice that in a lot of pop songs, especially written for female singers. Like a lot of the female singers, like they're more image based. They don't really only one I can think. There's only two that I can think of that actually writes their own songs. That's Lady Gaga and Pink. She writes her own. Yeah. She writes a lot of her own lyrics. You know, Taylor Swift, I just thought when she does too. I loved her country stuff, but she switched over to pop, and I think she's just playing along with what goes on with pop music because it really sounds like a lot of the other pop stuff.
Right. There seems like it'd be a formula.
Yeah, there's a formula.
There's a formula. And I think that's the problem. I think we need to break that formula because also the people that write the songs are in it for the money.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing too.
I think so.
No one's writing it for the love of doing it, which if you go to your local bar and hear a local band that's written their own music, they've got their heart and soul into it. They've written everything about that, and they have a lot of emotion tied to that music. Where I think a lot of mainstream music, except you do have the ones that do write their own, but you do have a lot that are written for them, and I think that you lose that emotion and that love and that care of a song.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I want to ask you, there's a lot of good music artists that's from this very area. You personally, who are your favorites, whether from the past or present?
I have a long list.
Well, go ahead. I got time.
There's Shrug. Absolutely love Shrug.
Yeah.
Anything Paige Beller does.
Okay.
She's in Jasper the Colossal and several other bands. She was in like 5 different bands at once. I absolutely love her. I think everything she does is great. Also, Stella Demise, Old New Fashion, Dark Backward.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of her. There's a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
As well, there was a band called Ohio that was playing for a while, and they were really good. They were one of my favorites. There's a band in Chicago called the Steepwater Band. I like them a lot.
Okay.
And who else? There's a lot of really good music in the area. You just need to go experience it.
Yes, I would recommend anyone that doesn't know where to start when discovering new music in the area. Of course, the easiest route is to pretty much listen to FM radio for those that don't really spend time searching. But those of you that are listening at home, if you want to know where to begin in finding music, like I'll talk about what I did for Dayton's Any Music Madness. I found all these guys on the internet. So that's a big thing. It's really big for artists to post on the internet nowadays. It's really easy to find them. Because the old way would be if people wanted their music played on the radio. Before the internet was so good and very reliable, you had to go through a lot of physical CDs, and they could mount. Like I've seen old videos of what DJs used to do, like these like kind of like documentaries. There'd be like CD stacks like this high. Like they'd have a counter that would take up a whole wall and this high. You had to sort through all these CDs, and if you're dedicated, I imagine someone would do it. But I can imagine a lot of people, that'd be a big turnoff. So, go locally. Really go to a concert. That'd be your first step is to give a friend of yours saying, hey, I'm going to this concert. Yeah. And go with me.
Yellow Cab, Oregon Express, Blind Bob's.
Yeah.
All of them have really good local music.
Yes, they do. Yes.
And, you see some amazing shows. These places, because like I said, they're not. Majority of them, I'm not going to say all of them. Yeah. The majority of them are not in it for the ego. Some are though.
Yeah.
Some do have egos. I'm not going to say they're no.
All right.
But, some of them do, but a lot of them don't, and so and they're just very personable, and they'll talk with you. They'll sign stuff for you. They'll take pictures with you, which you don't get. I mean, you can spend $100 to go see a concert, be way in the back, and all you're hearing the music, and that's about it. Where you can go locally, pay $5 to $7 to get in, and you can meet up to 3 different bands and all the band members, and they'll talk to you, take pictures, and sign stuff, and they're just as good in most cases.
Absolutely, yes. That's really an awesome step for anyone who wants to discover music. Just go out there live and experience it. Now, Gretchen, I want to end this interview with this. I want to tell people at home what you do now and how can people get involved with what you do.
Right now, my radio show is a little bit on hiatus.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at getting it back up and going. We don't get paid for DJing. The music we play, a lot of us, we did because we love to do it. We wanted to share music with everybody.
Yeah.
And there was a time period where it seems like all of us DJs, because we're in different countries and everything, we just get overwhelmed with our work life, which happens, and family life and everything. But I know I want to go back into doing my original music and finding all the songs from different places around the world that no one's ever heard of.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping to get back into that here pretty soon. I had been booking also music in the Oregon Express. I still can in different places. And so, like I said, it's a really good place to see good music is around downtown area.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, I have some projects in the works. I'm taking a little bit of break because it's life.
Yeah, I get it.
Sometimes you just have to take a little bit of a break. But I am looking back into things here pretty soon.
All right. Well, Gretchen, it was my pleasure having you, and good luck with everything that you do. I'll definitely be paying focus to when you return to Reveal Central. I'll see what you got uploaded. I'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that show.
Thank you.
All right. So good luck to you, Gretchen.
Thank you very much.
With Ohio's on Fire. I am Daniel Diesel. So that was the bonus track by Discrepancies and their track The Awakening. I got some segments to get through as we end our show tonight, but right now it is now time for everyone's favorite segment. Yes, I waited till towards the end of the show to do this. It can happen anytime, at the beginning of the show, middle of the show, end of the show, and tonight it's near the end of the show. It is one only. OMVP, and that stands for Ohio's most valuable pedestrian Ooh, ah. Now, this MVP award goes to someone who did something very interesting in the state of Ohio, or a group of people who likewise did something good in Ohio. And there's always a backstory that goes along with MVP. And sometimes it's one person. It could be more than one person. It could be a group of people. It could be an entire city. So it just depends on what is happening in Ohio in recent memory. So here's the article to this episode's OMVP. Here it is. It's from www.cincinnati.com/story/entertainment. And the name of the article, it is In Spielberg's Ready Player One, Ohio is the center of the universe. And I really want to see that film, so this article is about that. So let's get to this article. The future is now. Well, at least at the movie theaters this weekend. And the future is in Columbus? And it's the question mark there. That's according to the new Steven Spielberg flick, Ready Player One, in theaters now. Now, the movie is set in 2045, a time where a hyper-realistic virtual reality experience dominates an otherwise bleak daily life. In that VR experience, it was developed and based in Columbus. Because of that, Columbus is the fastest growing city on the planet, the script says. But among all the eye-popping special effects of the virtual world and the dystopian set design of the real world, the real one, there is something very Ohioan you'll recognize. The license plates, like the ones on our cars today. So that hasn't changed. Just look closely during those car chase scenes. The Ready Player One Ohio connections don't stop with what we see on screen. The film is based on a book by Ashland native Ernest Cline. In Spielberg, he is born in Ohio. He was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's the end of the article. You know what I'm going to do? I have the trailer to this film, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Oh, never mind. Okay, you know what? I can't play it. So my bad. Live radio mistake. Maybe I'll play it some other time. There's like some there's an ad blocker I'd have to go through. My mic was off, so once again, I was wanting to play the trailers of Ready Player One, but it wasn't working, and there was also an ad block that caused something funny, so I cannot play the trailer for now. But yeah, go to YouTube and check out the trailer for Ready Player One. It does look like a good movie, and you know what? I do want to see it. That's on my to-do list for movies. So it was really cool. I got to read this article, and I tell you what, I'm giving this OMP award not to Steven Spielberg, even though he was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. He's got enough money. He's worth millions of dollars. He's won a lot of movie awards, and he lives in a big house in California. I don't think he would care about my OMVP. One person I think who's on the rise in the movie world that would care about OMVP is Ernest Cline. Yes, the film is based on a book that was made by him, and of course then it was adapted into film. So Ernest Cline, he became a household name thanks to this original book. And although I don't think he's listening, I doubt it, but I think if he was listening, Ernest Cline, he would be very interested that I gave him this award. He would appreciate it because I appreciate him and his book. So Ernest Cline, I hope this movie makes you $100 million in royalties, and you have a big house you can buy, and you can live next door to Steven Spielberg and live a happy life. And cut me a check while you're at it, if you remember me. If you happen to be listening, please cut me a check. So Ernest Cline, for this episode, you are OMVP, and that is Ohio's most valuable pedestrian. Ooh, I'm clapping for you, Ernest Cline. Now with that, it's now time for the final message. And I will be brief. Usually I have a little bit of length to it. I don't have really much to say tonight for my final message. Plus I got some plugs I got to make for upcoming shows. With that, I want to talk. This past Sunday was Easter. It's a major holiday. Regardless of who you are, whether you're a normal person or someone who's rich, whether welfare class you're in, rich, poor, or race, everyone has their own take on what Easter is. I think, regardless of what your thoughts are, there's one thing that I can think of that I think we would all share in common with Easter is the spirit, is finding spirit. Find something that makes you feel good. Because, this life can be hard sometimes. And what you got to do is finding happiness can be hard. And regardless of what you decide, what it is that makes you happy, have a spirit. Or sometimes you can learn it. There's people that will tell you that can tell you what's out there. There's a community you can join that can tell you what spirituality is. But I think it really is important that regardless of what your idea of the truth really is when it comes to the afterlife, you got to have your spirit. You really do. You got to want to live in this world because we won't always be in this world. We'll be someplace else. I mean, and Easter tackles on that subject, and because there's other themes that whether you agree with or not. I mean, it's always debatable, regardless of who you're talking to. But there is a common theme that's universally shared, that's talked about in the message of Easter, and that's spirituality, finding what's important in your heart, realizing that this life is worth it, and then you live this life to the best to your ability, be the best person you can be, and then there'll be another life out there that'll be on an even higher level than this one. And that comes from spirituality. That comes from having a spirit. And I hope everyone out there, they are at peace. Or if they're not at peace, they're trying to find peace. So that's my message for you tonight. Hopefully that you have a good spirit in your life. That makes you happy. So that's my message for tonight. Now with that, I got some plugs for next Wednesday night. I'll be on once again next Wednesday night. I'll be playing Group B of the first round of Dayton's Indie Music Madness. I'll have 12 more songs that I will play, and I will announce those as the weeks come. I'm trying to make it more of a mystery. Now you can find out early what these tracks and artists are, but you gotta be a member. You have to have access to an internet computer, so I'm gonna do that to y'all. Once again, Dayton's Indie Music Madness is hosting this tournament. And you can go to www.facebook.com/groups/Dayton's. Dayton is spelled Dayton, if you know how to spell Dayton. And then there's an S, because it's actually an apostrophe, but in the description, the URL, I can't put an apostrophe there. It's just an S. So Dayton's Indie as in the music description, indie rock, indie pop. And then Music Madness. Madness as in March Madness. Please go there. It's not too hard to find. Because I'm sharing on my, if you're on social media, I've been sharing it as often as I possibly can. And we got some votes so far for songs. Right now, I can tell you who is in the lead for Group A. Charlie Jackson and the Heartland Railway. And their song Days of Wine and Roses. They're in the lead. We have that 3 votes. There are a few with 2, I believe. So it's early on. You have until Monday at noon to vote for these songs. And you know what? I got a roll call of songs, because each song and track, each artist and track, they have a college attached to them. Because if they wind up winning this tournament, I will pledge money to that college. So I'll do a little quick roll call. Charlie Jackson, the Heartland Railway, they are representing Kent State University. Gretchen Kelly, she's representing Central State University. Chronicles of Jess, they are introducing Shawnee State University. Duck Duck Gray Duck, they are introducing Youngstown State University. Automaton, they are representing Bowling Green State University. And Icicle from Dayton, Ohio, he is representing Lakeland Community College. Airtooth Lincoln is representing Air Force Institute of Technology, which is right across the street from this campus. Then you got Gons, they are representing North Central State College. Gray Goins, he's representing Columbus State Community College. Brett Narkey, he is representing the University of Cincinnati. And Fuzzlord, they are representing Hawking College. So those are the colleges. I don't think I mentioned all of them tonight, so I will try to do a better job of talking about the colleges that each artist represents. Come next week's show for Group B. And also I'll have some guests coming. Actually, for the rest of this month, I can tell you guests I have scheduled to come on. Dan Dean, he's a comedian in the area. He's supposed to come on this month. Also, the band Red Hot Rebellion, they are a heavy metal rock band from Dayton, Ohio. But lately, they've been doing podcasts as they're venturing into podcasting. Jim, Trump, Montana, and Andis, I know your name, buddy. I think he's listening tonight. Andis Divine, Andrus Divine, he is coming. So those two will be on the show. They're scheduled for April 18th. They might come April 11th, so I got to hear back from them. And also, when I do the finals of Dayton's Any Music Madness, I will have the finalists and wildcard people. I will invite them to the show. I'll interview them, and we will crown a winner. That'll be on April 25th. So please stay tuned for the shows. Please support me. I do have a Facebook for this radio show. It is www.facebook.com/OhioIsOnFire show. That is where you can find me on Facebook. Please support me. Please support this tournament and make this a fun tournament for all. So until then, I will see you next Wednesday night. I'll be on the air at 5 o'clock. The first half hour I play top ads. Then, of course, from 5:30 to 8, I do my thing with Ohio's on Fire. So until next Wednesday night, when I have Group B of Dayton's Any Music Madness, and I have guests I will interview and subjects to be determined. Dayton, Ohio, Dayton's Any Music Madness, Gretchen Kelly. That's the way it is.
Get ready to feel that rush, demonstrating propagation for those who can't get it.